Like,
mean he doesn't still respect you. That doesn't mean that he doesn't love you. No, she means nothing to him. And if you think I'm gonna give up my life for a man that loves me and respects me and take care of me, he didn't claim her. He put that ring on my finger.
Okay.
So why am I gonna leave over someone that doesn't mean anything? He's a man.
So
He's just gonna be a man. That's it. My soon-to-be husband, like, he treats me well. He respects me. I don't have to ask for anything. But at the same time, I also do what I'm supposed to do with a woman. I cook, I clean, I suck, I fuck, I shut the fuck up. So I know how to keep my man.
Yeah. Yo, what's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. I can't get my YouTube people on, so I'm gonna go live on YouTube right quick. I mean on Instagram. So that they know I'm on here. And then they'll just come over on their own. Add a title. The Look live on YouTube.com. / There we go. Yo, make sure y'all type y'all name, type something when y'all come into live so I know y'all are with me. I see y'all. I see y'all. I see y'all. I'm going to run this clip again so y'all can hear it because I know it's hard to believe, but let's get it started.
Just because a man sleeps with another woman does not mean he doesn't still respect you. That doesn't mean that he doesn't love you. No, she means nothing to him. And if you think I'm gonna give up my life
what's up? We
for
live.
a man that loves me and respects me and take care of me, he didn't claim her. He put that ring on my finger.
Okay.
So why am I gonna
YouTube,
leave over someone that doesn't mean anything? He's a man. He's just gonna be a man. That's it. My soon-to-be husband, like, he treats me well. He respects me. I don't have to ask for anything. But at the same time, I also do what I'm supposed to do with a woman. I cook, I clean, I suck, I fuck, I shut the fuck up. So I know how to keep my man.
I don't like the gender roles part of it for sure. I mean, not as much like that's the expectation for her. I feel like it's like you're a team on that, you know what I mean? It's like you both should be cooking, cleaning, doing whatever. Is my own thought.
No, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at the shared responsibility thing. What about the first part?
What gets me is, like, I think we have this expectation that men should not have self-control, or like men don't have self-control,
Right.
when they very much could, and they could control themselves and their, like, desires and lustfulness and everything. But
I don't think you can cheat if you love somebody. It's my
right,
thought.
it's disrespectful.
No, I get it. Let me see. Let me think about that. I don't think you can cheat if you love somebody. I don't think you would cheat if you're in love with somebody. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of people who love people. There are married people who love each other. I also believe that there are people who are dating people who they, who are in situations like almost to what she's kind of speaking on, where they are together. He's probably providing everything for her. You know what I'm saying? Sounds like, and she's taking on the stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home girlfriend kind of role. So she probably hasn't earned, you know what I mean, the lifestyle that she's living, or could afford the lifestyle that she's living, and she's saying, "I'm not willing to give." This that's part of the. Yeah, I got my wine, chocolate covered strawberries, and pineapple. And if it gets bad, I am bringing out my Master's Blend Hennessy. That is hilarious. Welcome to the live. We got to share the live out. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you share it. Yo, what up, D-Lex? We're live. Make sure y'all join me over here on YouTube. I'm not doing a whole lot of conversation on IG. I just popped on so y'all know where I'm at. I'm actually gonna pop back over to TikTok for a minute and then get everybody to come over to IG from there. Can you hear me, Rose? You can hear me well? Oh, I see you over. How you on both of them? Is that you over there too? Yeah. All right. So let me get off of. I'm getting off of Instagram, y'all, and I'm coming back over to YouTube. YouTube, I see you guys. You know what I'm saying? We're discussing this. There you go. Yeah, yeah. Come over to YouTube, and that's probably the greatest challenge, is having to, move everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody wants to be on what they want to be on. Okay, cool. I'm gonna invite some more people over. Let me see. Let me end this. Go on TikTok right quick. No, I don't want to share this. On my TV and phone. Okay, cool. Discard. Okay, I see you. Have either one of y'all been in a situation where somebody stepped out? Yeah. All right. I unfortunately have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You cheated or?
No, I didn't cheat. It's real different for somebody, especially in my position, because the opportunity for me to have cheated is everywhere for me. You know what I'm saying? Being in this music industry, always around gorgeous women, always around. You know, you have entertainers first off who are attracted to you. You know what I'm saying? Alicia Keys wanted to holler at me really bad. I promise you. On the set of the My Boo video, like she was going in, and Usher saw it. He was like, "Yo, bro, what you gonna do?" I was like, "Yo, you know what I'm saying? What are you gonna do?" Because usually he the one that hollers at the other celebrity chicks, that type of shit. Right. That kind of thing. So, yo, check it out. We here. We on everybody join me on YouTube. We about to have this conversation. I know y'all want to tune into it right now. It's crazy. But it was a shock to the ego because I had never had that happen before. You know what I'm saying? Knowingly. Like I'm pretty sure it may have happened before and I was probably like, you know what I mean, naive to it and didn't care. And that's kind of how I am even to this day. If it's gonna happen, I don't want to know about it. And I don't want to feel the effects of it. And when I say that, I mean I don't want to be unhappy because you made a decision that changed how you interact with me. You know what I'm saying?
So would you rather go on in a relationship not knowing?
As long as I'm happy, I don't give a shit. Like I mean, you know what I mean? That's all of us to an extent. If your life is good and you're oblivious, are you getting cheated on?
I mean, ignorance is bliss.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like how would you know? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, what up, Brian? I see you. I see y'all checking in. Everybody, y'all check in right now. We're on YouTube. I'm about to shut off TikTok. I'm about to get off TikTok so we can hold this conversation. I have a few spots available for anybody who wants to join the stage and tell me what they think about this woman's comments. It's
because a man sleeps with another woman does not mean he doesn't still respect you. That doesn't mean that he doesn't love you. No, she means nothing to him. And if you think I'm gonna give up my life for a man that loves me and respects me and take care of me, he didn't claim her. He put that ring on my finger. Okay. So why am I gonna leave over someone that doesn't mean anything? He's a man. He's just gonna be a man. That's it. My soon-to-be husband, like, he treats me well. He respects me. I don't have to ask for anything. But at the same time, I also do what I'm supposed to do with a woman. I cook, I clean, I suck, I fuck, I shut the fuck up. So I know how to keep my man.
The last part always... the last part just sounds like an anthem or something. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like she's practiced that. Like it just rolled off. That just rolled off her tongue so easily. That last part. You know what I'm saying? So, ladies, would you stay with well, not ladies. Would you stay in a relationship with someone who cheated on you? Would you stay? Would y'all stay?
No. Not if I knew about it.
I wouldn't.
Not if you knew about it. Circumstances wouldn't matter. Sweet said no as well. So there's no premise under which, okay, so let's take it even further. Let's start at the top. You're married. Would you stay?
No. I would not.
You married with kids. Would you stay?
No.
If it was a one-night stand, would you stay?
No. I wouldn't.
After that trust is gone, you know, I don't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the basis, the foundation of a relationship is trust.
Hold on, wait, listen to this. Mary said, I didn't, but I did take him back after 3 years until he passed away. We were married 28 years. Wow. Juicy says, hell no. Sweet says, never. My kids are out. Mary says, nope, it was hard. Oh, okay, yeah, she said it was hard leaving him. Yeah. It's weird, right? Because nobody expects to be on the, I don't want to say victim side.
The receiving end.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it comes as a shock to you. And remember how I said you never really know what somebody means to you until there's a negotiation up for them to be gone. Mm-hmm. I think that's what comes into play with a lot of these situations is that people start saying, first off, the first part is how did this happen? You know what I'm saying? So again, it's hard because I want to create some scenarios and see what you know what I mean. I want to create some scenarios and see if there's any reason. She said, "Yeah, it's hard, but part of it was forgiving him truly from the heart, and he never did it again." Juicy said, "You teach people how to love you by the way you love you." Okay. Mary said, "Look, it was a one time thing, and they had a 28-year marriage. You know what I'm saying, sorting it out."
My thing on it is that if it's really worth risking the life you built together, like that just breaks the trust entirely.
Does it
Like that
entirely
person
though?
puts everything in jeopardy.
What if they were drunk and the woman pursued them?
Then they could say no.
It's hard to say no when you're drunk. It's hard to say no when you're drunk.
But like drunk thoughts, drunk actions are all sober, thoughts that, they don't think they wouldn't act on, and then, you think you're invincible in that moment, but actions have consequences.
Actions absolutely do have consequences. Coco said, "I leave different. The heart leave, then I leave." So that's the thing. So do you stop loving somebody immediately after if you found out they cheated? Where do your feelings go?
No, they don't go away. That shit hurts. That shit hurts for sure.
Work on getting it to end.
All right. Juicy said men ain't going for no excuse. And Juicy, you're saying in terms of if a woman cheats on a man. I mean, if a woman cheats on a man. Sweet said that's right. He absolutely trusted me from the beginning, and I had to learn to do it as well. So you can't regain trust. What if this person is your person though? You know what I mean? Like this is person like you have done. You guys have a world of memories. You've experienced so much in life. You've grown together. You've built some things together. Still nothing.
It's one of those things, like,
If they're willing to risk all that, I mean,
right, just for a hookup, just to get one in, like.
So okay, I'm still trying to think through some scenarios. After 3 years, I learned I had no issues at all. Okay, yeah. So he built his trust back. You know what I'm saying in Mary's situation, which I think is admirable. And when I say that, admirable on Mary's part to be open enough to trust, because that's a difficult place. Like y'all, you know what I'm saying. I understand what y'all saying. It's difficult to say. It is very difficult to receive someone after they've done something like that. I think that the dynamic of the relationship absolutely is altered. And if you can understand that alteration and then have the conversation about, was this an impulse or have you been, like you said, to your point, were you secretly wanting to do this all the goddamn time or what the fuck?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm trying to think of Juicy said cheating is a choice.
For sure. Juicy.
I'm trying to understand, is there a circumstance, anybody in the live, what circumstance, is there a circumstance that is at least you're able to understand? Because I don't think she was talking about a serial cheater. Like, I don't think she was like, yo, he's out every night. Like, I think that's deplorable. I don't think, I think it's very difficult to receive someone back that is constantly cheating. But I don't think that was the case in the clip, right? So if you know that your man or your woman is all over you a majority of the time, like y'all are thick as thieves, y'all are all everything seems, the synergy, everything just seems perfect. And there's this lapse of, like I said, there's an event. I don't know what would cause it. Like, I don't know what could be I don't know what to circumstance to put it in. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what circumstance that would be negotiable. I think that the trust will always be different, and that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like I think in Mary's case, that she switched it up. Sweet said, Sweet said she didn't know when he cheated. Some men make time to make it happen. He went out for a pack of cigarettes. That's funny. He went out for a pack of cigarettes. I think that I think the calculated cheating is bad. Let me just say I think all cheating is bad. Let me clarify that. But I don't know. Like I've seen people who have been trustworthy in their relationships have that lapse. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's does time away make it okay? For instance, long distance relationships. You say yes. He said
No,
no.
that
Oh,
doesn't make it
oh,
okay.
you like? Oh, I hear where you coming from.
I thought you were gonna elaborate.
No, no. So I'm. Long distance relationships are typically what do you say? Mary said, "Yeah, all cheating is bad." Girl interrupt said, "All cheating is bad, but it depends on the bond you have with the person." I like that. What up, bougie? I guess that's my question. Does bond matter? Does the bond that you have matter?
It does, but you think about it, if it matters to you, but it doesn't matter enough for them to stay loyal to you.
But is loyalty a physical thing, or is it a mental and emotional thing?
All of it. It's all of it.
Is
Full
it
body.
is anything worth more? Does anything have more value than the next? If and I'm saying this to say this, if the guy says, if you know he loves you, and this act of cheating is not out of love, I understand that the value of it worsens it because it's like if this isn't meaningful, why would you do it? Is your I'm assuming that's where you're like part of your point is. If it's not meaningful, why would you even
Like cheating with the person.
yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, to me, it takes the relationship to surface level. Because if that's what you care about, is just like sex and just getting
Well,
what
that's
you
a part of
want.
it. Like
It's a part of
relationship,
it for
yeah,
sure. It's
yeah.
very connecting and everything, but true intimacy is all of it, you know? And if you're not there with the person and your mind is elsewhere, you know, you're thinking with your dick or whatever, and you're just like following that feeling, like to me, that's a no go.
Okay, Juicy said they was needing something, but was too cowardly to share with the other person. And then Sweet said, yes, the bond matters, but that can be broken. The lying bothers her. Mary says, but that also allowed me to look at myself and finally leave him when I did. Beyonce didn't leave Jay-Z. Hillary didn't leave Bill. Uh-oh. Sometimes it's just a way out for the person. They didn't know how to get rid of them. Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah. What up, Rob? Rob was on the live earlier. Rob was discussing his ex-wife cheated on him. We're live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and a whole bunch of other places. If you want to come up, Rob, and have a conversation and tell people about your story, you're more than welcome to do it. But we're at a place where I'm trying to understand. Um, so, what is the thought process on a young lady like this, as well as like they said, Jay Z, Beyonce, and Hillary, and those people who were cheated on and continued the relationship, and seem to be well with Jay Z situation, it seems to be flourishing. And in a married situation, you know, it is it a is it a maturity thing? Like, is it a relationship maturity level thing? Saying that for everything that I've invested into you, because intimacy or because sex, not intimacy, because sex is such a minuscule part of it, will I let that one pebble tear down this whole thing? That's the debate I think that people have in their relationships.
Well, here's the thing. It definitely depends on the person. Like, I can't make a decision for somebody else.
Right.
But I also feel like if, again, they are willing to jeopardize that relationship. And to me, that just, it speaks volumes.
But
But I also believe that love is abundant. You can create that with anybody. Not anybody, you know, you need to find your connections. But I don't think in terms of like, this is my person. If I don't have this, then I will never find somebody else.
right.
I think in terms of it's honestly living proof that I can find it elsewhere, that I created something like this with you, and I'll create it again with somebody who will value it more. So that's how I feel about it.
Okay. Let me see you too. Okay. That's different. I mean, that's 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 the YouTube, Rob. You come to the YouTube. I'm not doing it on pin this comment. That's the one. Couldn't pin the comment for some reason. But that's it. Look at the I just typed in the YouTube joint. Um I believe that. I like that. I think that the message that they like to teach you is that there's only one person for you. You know what I mean? Like you can only fall in love once, or there's only one person that and I'm not mad at that. I mean, I'm not mad at the understanding that there this in your book then would also be an indicator that this wasn't your one.
I don't believe in the one. I believe in, you know, you can connect with multiple people and just you can create something
They
there.
call that poly. They
No,
call it-
not like that. I mean, in
you
terms
can
of
connect with several people. It's trust me.
in terms of like no, like you can meet people at that level, multiple people,
No, absolutely.
and not necessarily at the same time. That's up to the
Right.
individual, but
That's funny.
like I don't believe in the one.
Girl interrupted just pinned it. That's the YouTube right there, you guys. And then I'll send you guys. I'll post the the call in code or whatever for you guys to call in. Yeah, I took back the cheater.
Mm.
Yeah, it was different. Like it was different. Like it was very different. Cause I think it was. I can't believe you did this. You know what I mean?
That shit hurts.
Yeah, it was really weird. It was a weird space to be in. I wrote a song about it. It's a smash. Usher cut it, Jay Holiday cut it, Music Soul Child cut it. It's a smash record. Um, it's called Slipping, and I wrote it about myself. That you got caught slipping. You know what I'm saying? And it inspired a book uh, that I haven't wrote yet. It's called Never Stop Macking. Because that's essentially what the under the undermining of a relationship is what we talked about when you first came here about um, we're moving so fast in life and in technology that the things that are core to us that should always remain core, we leave those things behind. And that's the basis of great relationships is we forget the reason and how we fell in love. We forget the things that it took to fall in love. So in the song it says we don't talk that as long, we don't make love as long. Like we don't do the things that we did in the beginning that set up this foundation for this relationship. And it's because we've moved past the point of remembering them. Like I'm a big advocate for photos and having things that remind you and experiences. Like I think you have to experience stuff all the time. You got to be able to say, remember when we, you know what I'm saying? And if you're not having those conversations, then you start from where you're at. And that's ground zero and it's nothing to connect to. And life and relationships are about connections. And I think when people cheat, they disregard those connections and those connections are broken. Because as y'all said, being in love is a constant reminder of the things that made you get there. And so you don't want to leave those things out. And I think people, for whatever the reason is, whether it's your job, whether it's, you know, traveling, whether it's, I don't know, people forget to connect. And I think that's part of the reason there's a systematic play agenda here at play in America where they don't care if both parents are in the house. And at one point, that was the only way families were. Like families were two parent households. You know what I'm saying? And they stuck through these times that we're talking about. They stuck through infidelity. I forget who said this earlier. Someone said earlier that her grandmother, said if he's not beating you, there's no reason to leave. You know what I mean? If he's not physically assaulting you, there's no reason to leave.
The bar is so low.
It was different, right? Because one of the, it depends on what side of the table you're on. I'm not a smorgasbord person, meaning I probably won't eat anything because there's so many choices. You know what I'm saying? Like it's too much to choose from. I don't need that much variety. If we keep it simple, life stays simple. I don't need all that. Like that's and it's the difference between men and women. Most men can go into stores, grab what they want, and get the fuck about it. Our counterparts, however, y'all will look at shit that y'all know y'all not buying. Y'all will spend an hour in a section of a of a store. It's like, yo, you don't come on, man. That one ain't it? No, no. Oh, okay. You look for one with a different stripe. Okay, cool, whatever. Um, and and that's part of it. You know what I'm saying? Um, Part of it is there's so much variety for everyone to cheat. There's low to no level of connections. You know what I'm saying? Instagram is the devil. Uh, when I say that, I mean there's so many people. Uh, Snapchat, for instance, is really like I'm like, yo, when I hear somebody say they're on Snapchat, like actively on Snapchat, I'd be like, oh, okay, I get it, because it's been used as a like the invisible messages. I hear like I just understand that there's more, and I can't say that. Social media and texting diminishes the personalization in the conversation that people would have. You know what I'm saying? And if we're talking about building, then it's about connection. And if you're not making those connections, then what are you building? And on what foundation is it being built on? That's where we're at. You know what I mean? Um,
There's definitely a big lack of human connection in all areas, really.
she typed it in ICGREEN1. Rob, let me see. Let me see if I can back channel you this thing. It don't you feel it like it's like it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
No, we're all disconnected. We're all staring at screens all day, type shit.
That type shit.
Nobody's really like, they don't introduce themselves. People don't talk. Like,
And it's a facade most of the time. Like it's never like I think one of the things that the people who join me on my lives and stuff can appreciate is I'm just who you see here is who you'll see when you meet me in person, but it's just it's it's so difficult for some people to be themselves.
our world doesn't really like encourage that in people.
Absolutely doesn't.
So like, I don't blame individuals for that. It's unfortunate, and I would always advocate for people to love themselves, but that's just the world. Also,
That part. Let me see. Copy. Paste. Paste. All right, Rob. I just inboxed you the link to join the live. I just inboxed you the link so you can join us live. Um, Let me see. Yeah, let me do this. I'm gonna mute your account for a minute, brother. You can hang out, but you can't say nothing. Aha! Uh, yeah, it's a guy who trolls me. Like, and I'm cool with him trolling under most circumstances. Like, I'm fine with that. But tonight, I don't want to have to deal with that. I got other people I gotta protect and people that are gonna come up on the live. For anybody else who wants to go live, hit the just let me know. I'll send you the link right quick. I only want 2 or 3 other guests on the live, but I want Rob. Rob can come up. It's in your inbox, Rob. Just hit that link, and then it'll ring me, and then you can join me. Make sure you have headphones on or something like that, so that there's no feedback. But Rob was the one I was saying, ex-wife cheated on him, and he's still kind of managing that situation. Like he said, it took him like 5 years to get over. And that's the other part. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's not with her anymore.
no, he's not.
Yeah.
She's his ex.
See what you said earlier about like reminiscing on memories, like remembering where you came from and like why you got there and why the connection's there in the first place. Like, I do think that's very valuable, but I also think you need to bring yourself back to the present moment. And like you said it yourself, like it felt different. It was different. It didn't feel the same. You don't make love as long. You don't, it's not the same.
That's after you cheated on, though. I'm saying prior to I'm saying that missing that first part of it is why people cheat. Like if you're out and you see, I don't know, because you're in a relationship, you're not blind, so you don't stop seeing things that are or people that are beautiful or whatever. But what happens is it should trigger the moments that you've had with your person that'll deter you from acting on anything. That bond, that those things. It should be. It's almost like a. I forget what movie Chris Rock played in. Scrap. So how long you stay reunited with your ex? Sometimes it doesn't pay to go back. True story. I mean, not long. I mean, you know what I'm saying. It was, but it was a moment to kind of figure things out. You know what I'm saying. Like I'm not a. Sometimes I'm loyal to a fault, but I'm also a person who, um, you know, I can't I don't eject quickly. You know what I'm saying? I know I don't rip the band-aid off, if that makes sense. Um I'm a person who I like to think about what just happened so that I can make sure it doesn't happen again. You know what I mean? I need to evaluate it while I like to do it while I'm a part of it versus on the outside of it. Yeah, I think I love my wife. That's the Chris Rock. So Chris Rock during I think I love my wife uh had a person come from his past that he used to interact with before he got with his wife. And he used to pull out reminders. He used to always have to remind himself, I'm not gonna cheat on my wife, I'm not gonna cheat on my wife. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. And I can't remember. He didn't do it, did he? Girl, Juicy. I don't think he cheated on her. In the movie, I don't think he did. Um, but I think that that's what relationships have to have is the reminders. You know what I'm saying? Even when the arguments happen, even when you go through the valleys of your relationship, what are you supposed to hang on to? You know what I mean? How do you get back? It has to come from somewhere. It's not just gonna magically be new. Like all of a sudden, you start feeling great. You got to dial back and say, how did I get here? Where did I go off the tracks? You know what I'm saying? Where did I start not feeling how I feel about this person? And it's gonna be in the history of your relationship. It's usually when people stop creating memories that they enjoy. Yeah, he didn't cheat. Okay, yeah. But that was the part. Like he had to keep, you know what I'm saying? You have to have those. Like you have to have those safeguards, especially as if you're if you're an attractive person, doesn't matter man, woman, whatever, but you're innately physically attractive, but you're also your personality and your vibe. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get tempted and people are gonna be in your face all the time. The opportunity for good people um getting tempted is almost nonstop. Like, don't add alcohol to the situation because people can, especially the people who are trying to holler at you, pick up on the low vibration that you're emitting at that point. You know what I'm saying? Been several times where I've been out kicking it, and I feel the energy is different. As far as I be having to check. I was like, am I wearing some different shit tonight, or you know what I'm saying? Did I do something different with my hair or something? Because motherfuckers is responding to me way different than normal. Like this don't make no goddamn sense. You know what I'm saying? But I also know that part of it is um part of it is drinking. If you out you ever I mean do y'all I don't do y'all drink?
Not often.
On occasion.
Luke like but when you sip on something, do you feel the difference? Like I know you physically do, but vibe wise, is the energy different for you when you sip on something?
Not really.
So you're not sipping enough. Was you? What about you?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's a different, right?
Yeah.
Like it feels like I don't know what it is. For sometimes, she said blame it on the alcohol. Um, I can, yeah, the vibes might be just right. Yeah, um, it's a thing of you become a superhero in a negative, what could be a negative or positive way, just depends on how you handle your liquor. So I don't because of who I am. Like when I really get lit, I can't do it because I'm it's always been that way. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't.
Can't do what?
I don't drink. I celebrate drink. Like it has to be a celebration, and we know celebrations come far and in between. You know what I'm saying? Like eventful stuff that you celebrate. It has to be something like that, and then I know that I'm around the company. If I'm celebrating, I'm around the group of people that I know will protect me from myself. You know what I'm saying? Most people will drink when they go to the club on a regular basis, and that's not celebratory. At that point, you're trying to change your vibe and your mind. Your inhibitions gone with the alcohol. Yeah, so I can't. I'm a I'm a problem. Like if I'm sipping and I'm out, I'm a problem. Even if it's just for sport, I'm a problem. Like my conversation is different. You know what I'm saying? My energy is different, um and the potential to get into trouble is absolutely higher. So I don't do it. There was a time where that's all we did. We got together. We would pregame, and then we hit the club, and you'd already be at that place, and all that energy would be on you. You know what I'm saying? And wild boys do wild things. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, you shut it, you dial it back because all energy ain't good energy, especially in that space, and you realize that in hindsight that you got in a little more trouble than you planned on being in. You know what I'm saying? That you attracted some energy you didn't necessarily really need to attract. Um, so all that alcohol back there is has been there for quite a while.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Oh yeah, it's a whole bar back there. Um, I don't. I can tell you, I've only had maybe a shot of the Casamigos, um, the off-white Hennessy. I had that because you can't buy that in the United States. They don't sell that version of Hennessy here, so I got it in Aruba when I was over there, and I had like 6 bottles. I sold like 5 of them and kept one. And then I cracked. I forgot what event. It was something going on. And I cracked one. It was something with my people on the live when I did it. I cracked one. The porcelain bottle is not yours, which is the the white bottle. What's that? The Kazul, Kasazul. Yeah, that's probably the best tequila over there. Yeah, Brian said he loves Casamigos, clear, not brown. I got both. I got the clear. I got like 4 bottles of the clear and or brown or clear. I don't know. But again, it's been there. It's been there for a long time. You know what I'm saying? The Patron has been sitting there, and it's one of those things that I don't do it creatively. I will not do that. I'm not Amanda. There are people here. I don't do it. Let me see. There's some people here. There you go. Yeah. She said, "Why are you talking to yourself?" But see, Amanda, if you was on YouTube, you would be able to see everybody. Let me.
Just edit it in. We're not actually here.
I know, right?
It's a green screen.
That part. You be able to see everybody. They're a little blurry right now because the microphone is in focus. And yeah, there you go. Amanda's funny. Can't get in. Got to travel in the morning. We do it later. Okay, cool, Rob. But it should allowed you to just call in or whatnot, and then you get on. What up, Jira? Um, but yeah, so you know what I mean. Like that's why I keep saying to myself, I don't know. Like I understand. I understand her point of view to a degree. Um, and in that, it's the part where she's not willing to trade off and ultimately it does come off a bit delusional. Like her position on it saying that I don't know if you could put cheats on you and respect in the same breath. You know what I mean? That's the oxymoron to me. It's like, yeah, really? He cheated on you, but his respect. I don't know if that's possible um to manage. You know what I'm saying? I think when you respect somebody, you consider them more than a stranger or anybody else, and you say, how would they respond or react to me doing this? And that's not even just talking about infidelity. We're talking about like I don't know, fighting or anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like how would they respond knowing that this is what stealing or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it's I don't think it's a positive thing that you have to keep in mind that your person doesn't want that negative energy in their life, especially with you adding it. And I don't know how negativity is never said. I've never negativity has never come in and said, "I respect you." That's why I did. Like I don't get it. Like that's the part that throws me off about that. I do again. I'm sorry. I love the ending part where she where she knows how to take care of her man, but in response to that, he would in turn know how to take care of her too, and he should know that it's breaking her heart if he does that.
Right. It shouldn't even be an option or anything on his mind if you're in love with somebody. You respect them, that's your partner, and you understand that, your actions affect them.
Yeah.
And, nobody wants that to happen to them. But, you know, you're so willing to dish it out and do that to somebody else.
It is a selfish. It is a very selfish natured act.
Right.
Self gratifying. It doesn't. It has nothing to do with anybody else.
And it's one of those things, like, it feels good in the moment, sure. But, you know, if you're married, you have kids, or whatever the situation is, you have to remember that one moment where you were feeling horny, you wanted to get one off, that's going to affect everything else you've built, everything else you've created.
You're
So,
almost saying it's worth more than everything you built.
Mm-hmm.
right, that one moment.
Yeah. I don't think any of. Do you think anyone who are there honest cheaters?
What does that mean?
Exactly. Is there a such thing as a person who cheats and then tells the person like, "Yo"?
I'm sure, yeah, I mean, people do that.
But before they're caught.
Yeah, because for a lot of people, I'm sure that guilt, they can't sit with that person the same anymore
Mm.
because they know that they did that to their partner. And
Juicy
then
said, "Yep."
you try to interact the same and try to, whatever, but it's not the same. And they feel it, and then at some point, your partner is going to be like, why are they acting so weird? So it all catches up, it comes full circle. You
Yeah,
can't
and
get
you
away
could
from it.
tell. Like I can tell you. So in my experience, I felt it.
Right.
Like I was like, "Motherfucker, you got a whole new attitude all of a sudden." You know what I'm saying? Like this, and I think that's the. I think part of it though. So I think it's different. Would you, can consider this? I think cheating between. I think men who cheat are different than women who cheat in regards to most men cheat non-emotional, and I think women cheat emotionally. Yeah, girl interrupts. I'm sure there's a small percentage that tell on themselves out of guilt, like she's saying. Yeah, but I think that's the difference that people are trying to say. It's supposed to make it okay for a man to do it because it's not emotional. Like,
Yeah.
like he's not saying I don't love you while he's banging another chick because for him it's just banging another chick. But for women, the understanding is a woman has to have a certain level of a connection that's greater than physical for her to step out on the person that she's with.
I mean, not necessarily. I mean,
You don't think so?
it all goes both ways. Like,
But
that
we
can be the case for men, women,
men
doesn't
aren't
matter.
emotional like that though.
They can be. Yeah, they can be.
Well, in Atlanta they can be. It's a different group of men here in
I mean,
Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? I guess to some degree. I don't know many emotional men that way. Then let me just say that. Like I haven't met many men that are like, you know.
that's a problem. That's a problem. It's not okay.
Oh shit.
The toxic masculinity, it needs to end. It needs to be addressed.
Juicy said, I cannot even talk too long to someone who tried to hit on me without feeling guilty and has to, yeah, has to tell, yeah.
I gotta bounce. My girlfriend left her bag in my car.
Oh
Good
man.
meeting you.
All right, Luke.
Coming.
Love you.
This is
Bring
not
it
good.
Home.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is to be continued.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Catch
man.
y'all later.
All right, for
Bye.
sure. Yeah, so it's one of those things.
But I also feel like, so when a man cheats, and I'm sure there's so many reasons for it, but like in a broad sense, his needs aren't being met.
Yep.
That's a lack of communication.
'Cause-
That's a lack of, you're not telling your partner what you need.
Okay, so I like this. Okay, So she said that it's a lack of communication, and one of you guys mentioned that earlier. Juicy, I think that was you that said something to the regards um that the conversation isn't happening, and that's the reason why people. It's not an excuse, but it's a reason why it's a foundation for cheating, right? So the fact that they're not talking, what if he does express it and she doesn't acquiesce to what he's saying?
I mean,
In some situations, they can't, right? For instance, the working woman, because she keeps long hours, she's gonna be tired, right? She's gonna be like, "Yo, I'm not in the listen. I've been dealing with this knucklehead." But how does that work? Because in old school times, they used to say she got to just figure it out. Because a man needs what a man needs. Ooh, look at your face.
to me, it's so surface level. I mean, if you have a connection with somebody and, they're not giving it up one night or like a week or whatever it is, like, if that's really what that's going to cause you problems, like, you're going to need to go out and, like, scavenge and find someone else to do some shit
But
with.
ironically, in some situations, it's not a new person.
Right? It's old
It's yeah,
hookups and
yeah.
shit. It doesn't even matter though. Like at the end of the day, you're breaking trust. You're putting your needs above,
The relationships.
right? I don't even want to say needs. I just want to say desire and like lust, like because those aren't necessarily needs, but people
Well,
constantly fall into
well,
it.
no, no. There are doctors and scientists that will tell you that intimacy is a need, and it's a need because, and it's funny. I have a clip that I have a clip. I'm not going to show it during this, but there's a clip that I'm going to that we'll have another discussion about. But there's an actual psychologist who said men don't want sex; they need sex. Like we as individuals need it as a bonding mechanism in relationships. You know what I'm saying? Um, because what's to say because you're not being intimate? What's the difference between you and anybody else that's out on your relationship with your friends? There is very outside of you having. I can't even say that because you most people have a friend or friendships that are longer than their relationships that run deeper in discussion than the relationship that they're in.
Mm.
Brian says, I think a percentage of cheating starts when one partner feel like they're lacking something. Absolutely, right? But we were saying that they even have a conversation about what they're missing and what they're lacking. I think is, I think that I think pride and selfishness intervene and stubbornness when you can have a conversation about your needs and then the person doesn't adjust. How does what's the what do we do from there when the person hears your cry but doesn't wipe your tears,
I mean, a relationship is all about working together.
right?
So if it's going one way, if it's a one-way street, like that's not fair, you know?
Right.
So you should be working together, you should be growing together, you should be communicating.
Okay, let's say you're winning that relationship on, I don't know, say if there are four aspects of a relationship that are necessary and three of them you're a powerhouse at, but the fourth one you're not. The fourth one is intimacy, which we're talking about cheating. You know what I'm saying? And the irony is, cheating for men is physical and more so. And like I said, cheating for women is giving your heart and mind to another person, even though, you know what I'm
Sure.
saying? You so funny. So how does so how so with those three things in place and that fourth one, which is the physical and intimate level, and how does that work if a person knows um hold on, so Juicy said no, but if he not getting what he needs, then why stay when he's unfulfilled? Now see, that's kind of what I'm getting at, Juicy, is that out of the four fulfillments, three of them are fulfilled and this one portion of it isn't.
See, I would agree, like your needs should be met. And if that's not happening,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think cheating should be the resort. You should leave. because that, you need to communicate, you need to cut
Yep. After you've
ties,
done those,
but
yep.
it's not worth hurting somebody else over. Like, why would you pull somebody into, you know what I'm saying? You pull them into that state of hurt, and like, if your needs aren't being met, you could just leave and get your needs
So
filled somewhere else.
right, but aren't you hurting that person when you leave?
Of course, but if the relationship isn't working, it's not working.
Well, we're not saying in totality it's not working.
Yeah,
We're saying the intimate level is not working.
right.
So how does again? I think this is what she's saying, right? I think that in the clip that we ran earlier, okay, and Sweet said, is the woman getting her needs fulfilled? That goes both ways. Um, that's an interesting question. Um, I think in the regards, Sweet, if neither one of them are getting their needs fulfilled, then there it is. You know what I'm saying? The writing's on the wall. It's the it's the fulfillment thing that I'm really I think that's what challenges everybody who's in a position where everything else works. You guys are great conversationalists. You guys, when you're out together, you have an amazing time, all those things.
Right.
And you say that it should add up to the intimate level being pronounced. You know what I'm saying? Being okay. But in the instance that it isn't, I don't think men are willing to trade those three things for the sake of one. And they'll just say, I'll replace that with someone who will only get that thing from me, and they won't, and I won't position myself to have these other three things. You know what I'm saying? The other three, you know, and I think I almost want to say that's life with someone who is not completely fulfilled. They get, and it works the same way the other way around. If the guy's getting all the intimacy he can get from his woman, um, and the other things are fulfilled except for maybe the communication on, or maybe they don't kick it like like he wants. Maybe she's the lover and the wife, or the lover and the girlfriend, or lover and whatever, but she's not the best friend. You know what I'm saying? And they have somebody else who they talk to all the time. They have the funniest jokes with, and that kind of thing. Is that the same?
Like, are they cheating with that person?
I mean, would it be? Is it worth leaving them over them having a communicative relationship with somebody that is not the same as the one that you would have? They can talk to somebody better or more, or you know what I'm saying. I guess the relate, even though it's a relationship. I think there are people that you'll relate to more outside of your relationship because it's inside relationships. It's a You can't say everything you want to say to people in relationships without hurting them and knowing how they're gonna manage it. You know what I'm saying? Some people can't. You know how they say you want the truth, but you can't handle the truth. Especially in relationships. That's so difficult.
I mean, some people do just want people around to just validate them and don't like to hear the truth, or, like, but that's a hit to your ego. But that's what a relationship is being able to
A
work
good one.
with that.
No, a good relationship can consume it and manage it from there.
Right. Like, take it in stride and take whatever they're handing out to you. And
Juicy said truth hurts, but lies hurt worse. And so some people bring out different things in you. Yep, true, Sweet. Juicy said communication is the key regardless. Girl interrupted is over there thinking. It's one. I don't know, because you know,
it's so superficial. If you want somebody around to just lie to you and tell you, like, pat you on the back, tell you good job and all that shit, it's superficial.
no, absolutely,
That's not real.
absolutely. But I would take it to. I think that, like I said, if you have the other pieces together, if there's if one piece of your four-piece fulfillment is missing, is it grounds for leaving that person?
It depends on the individual for sure.
So I'm gonna ask you, on your side of it, if a person was talking to someone else more than they were talking to you, is that would you be like, I'm out?
I mean, it really depends. And also if they're like being shady about it, like they're not telling me or like
Right.
being secretive about it. Like you can tell when something there's underlying motives there. If you're lying about it and keeping it from your partner.
Then you want something else. It may be you be
right. It's not just about talking.
Right.
If like you're keeping it on the low and you don't want them to know.
They say you're making great points.
Thank you. Thank you.
Whatever. If she starts floating to the ceiling, it's y'all fault. Okay. Oh man. No, that's cool. I get it. I'm just wondering because, like I said, I want to make sure that we stay on point with the. I'm gonna run it one more time just so y'all can put this in context again. To listen to what she's saying.
Just because a man sleeps with another woman does not mean he doesn't still respect you. That doesn't mean that he doesn't love you. No, she means nothing to him. And if you think I'm gonna give up my life for a man that loves me and respects me and take care of me, he didn't claim her. He put that ring on my finger.
Okay.
So why am I gonna leave over someone that doesn't mean anything? He's a man. He's just gonna be a man. That's it. My soon-to-be husband, like, he treats me well. He respects me. I don't have to ask for anything. But at the same time, I also do what I'm supposed to do with a woman. I cook, I clean, I suck, I fuck, I shut the fuck up. So I know how to keep my man.
So right. So check this out. Is that enough? What she said at the end, is that enough? Is that enough to keep your person?
No. If somebody just wants me to fill a role, that's stupid as hell. I'm sorry. Like, the love should be deeper than that. It shouldn't be, all about what a woman does for you. Like, I think it's important and to, like, share a life together and to be able to build a system that works. But, like, that's not all there is. It's so much deeper than that.
It's deeper than she said.
Sucking, fucking, shut the fuck up, whatever she said. Like, cooking, cleaning.
Sweet says, no, I don't agree with what she said at all, especially the part he will be a man. I get it. So Sweet saying that he shouldn't be excused for his behavior just on the premise like that's what guys do.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because I hate men will be men. No, they can control themselves. Stop giving them passes for being a man. Like, it's stupid.
No, it definitely is a matter of self-control. It's definitely a control issue, you know what I'm saying? But I also think that's the other case that we're missing is that, I mean, she's saying a bunch of stuff like he claimed me, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
You know what I mean? It's a weird perspective that she's coming from. Juicy says she needs that man for something. It feels like it. It feels like, but again, and here's the dynamic that we don't talk about or see is that she's speaking from the aspect of a stay-at-home mom. I mean, not stay-at-home mom, but a kept woman. Do you feel that?
I mean, I would need to know more about the situation.
No, just based off of what she's saying. Like, I feel like she's speaking from a kept woman. Like, she's saying it. She's basically saying, look, as long as I do these things, I don't see there being a reason why he would. But if he does, because he's looking out for me, because he's taking care of me, because he's doing, I'm not going to trade she said, I'm not going to trade my life, which means that it's, you know what I mean? She imagines that she's at a certain place, at a certain status, you know what I'm saying? And this is how, I'm going to tell you right now, this is definitely how that upper echelon of money thinks when it comes to getting involved with certain men in relationships. It is a status thing. It is a positioning thing. It is well, he does all these things for me type things. Brian said, I get kept women vibes from her. Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was getting.
I would say it's coming from a place of internalized misogyny.
Internalized misogyny. Can you say it louder for the people?
Internalized misogyny.
She said she thinks it's coming from an internalized misogyny. Explain.
Because, I mean, those are the expectations placed on women since the dawn of time, like cook, clean, everything. So it's like it's coming from a place of, that's her job, that's her role as a woman.
Okay, now this is very interesting because now we start talking about the biology of people, right?
Oh no.
Yeah, so we have to get into that.
What do you mean?
Well, because no, because we're designed differently for different purposes to complement one another. I
So,
mean,
do you think a woman is made to clean?
no, I do believe women are nurturers. Period. I think that that's God's gift to y'all to keep y'all sweet, to keep y'all, you know what I'm saying, is that y'all know how to love. Y'all just know how to do it better than men. Point blank period.
Sure. Yeah.
But men are hunters. Men are defenders. You know what I'm saying? And it's set up that way, because that's how life is. She said she sounded like Beyonce in "Ring the Alarm." Think about the chorus. That's funny.
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Like,
Yep. Sweet. But see, so that's where, and this is where it gets really interesting because I believe that the powers that be have flipped life upside down, right? Because at a point where, and not just them, but I think that men misplaced the value in that dynamic. Um, Girl interrupts saying, "Yes, we are nurturers. Face red, heart shaped." That's funny. Um, yep. And then Sweet says women are naturally nurturing most of the time, but that's why I'm saying like the dynamic changed in like the 50s and 60s where the women started getting added to the workforce. So if women start wearing pants, what are men supposed to wear? And that's where we're at now. More men wearing dresses because the dynamic has gotten flipped on his head. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
so now there are men, and this is what goes back kind of back to your point, and this is why I said what I said. Most men are not emotional that way, but we are entering into a time now where yeah, there are hella emotional men, and it'd be like, yo, I don't, come on, man, tighten up. You know what I'm saying? Like as a man, I'm telling another, tighten up, bro. Like, what are you? You know what I'm saying? And the reason being is because there should only be two dynamics in relationships. A woman who is creative and y'all have flights of fantasy. Y'all are creative and all over the place, right? You along with a man who's just like that will never get along because there's no foundation. There is no groundwork. You know what I mean? There is no foundation for you to. You got to have a place to land. You know what I'm saying? And when both people are in the sky doing whatever, it's impossible. So this is the reason why, and I'm sorry, I always got to bring this back to, um, always got to bring this back to music. Jay-Z and Beyonce only work because they are at the level that they're at. But if you in life, when you try to have, or the most challenging thing to do is have these families where both people have these demanding jobs. Well, they never get to spend time together because if they're trying to grow and climb the ladder, that 9 to 5 becomes a 9 to 7 or 9 to 8. You have to shower, sleep, do all those different things afterwards, and you only have a little time for relating to one another. So in those situations, the reason why those relationships, yeah, same topic, just a little bit further down the line, Mary. The reason why relationships used to really thrive was because in good natured men. Don't get me wrong, um, the man would deal with the blunt of all the hardships of we take rejection well, we take people talking crazy to us well, we don't get emotional about it. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever, and can offload that and come home and manage. You know what I'm saying? But if he doesn't have a place where he can do that, if you come home and you just as hard and you just as angst about your job,
Sorry, what do you mean
what up,
offload?
Tawana? Well, you gotta decompress. Everything requires decompression. Especially
Sure.
work. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why people go get a beer after work, and you know what I'm saying. They
Right.
do those ritualistic things that they do after work. But you gotta have a space and place to do that. in great family households, there is a venter and a person who is listening to the person vent. We both can't vent at the same time. There's not enough room because I can't comfort you if I need comforting too, and I can't. You can't comfort me if you need comforting too. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like where we're. That's one of the places that we're at. Mary says she agrees. Yep. Yep. Priscilla said sacrificing to make a life. Yep. People with high net worth men or women, whole different story. True story. But as you're building, so Tamar Braxton hit on me before. This was at the beginning of our careers. And when she realized that I was an up and coming producer and I hadn't really made it yet, she was like, "We can't be together." And I threw me off because I was like, I'm used to being in relationships with people who wouldn't make. We was like we'll hustle together,
Right.
but that's not realistic if you're really chasing your dream. Um, it's difficult to manage a relationship while trying to manage your ascension to whatever position you're trying to get to because it's going to require things that require the other person to sacrifice more than I'm sure they signed up for. Time is the biggest of all those things. And when you stop spending time with that person, it kind of leads us back to this cheating thing. They're going to find someone to comfort them in your absence during that time. Now, they may not fall in love with them, it may not be none of that, but what do they do with this time that you promised them or that they thought they would get from you that they can't have? And this is why I tell artists, man, if you're gonna be an artist, can't be in a relationship. Can't do it. And if you do, then you're gonna have to write about the nuances of your relationship because what you put yourself in, everybody's gonna have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody deals with that at some point, and they want to hear it from you and your perspective if that's what you choose to do. Because it's it's such a crazy dynamic.
I mean, I wouldn't even say that's true.
Which part?
That you can't be in a relationship and pursue music, or
Who's gonna take the back seat?
why is there a backseat?
Because two people can't be loosey goosey at the same time. Somebody needs a foundation. It's usually the artist. Being an artist is one of the most selfish acts you'll ever make. And people have to corral themselves around you and your artistry in order for you to be a success. That was my phone.
Mm.
Usher couldn't be where he is if his mother kept a job that didn't support what he was doing. She had to throw all that shit, she had to sacrifice everything and say, "You're the golden child. I'm gonna support whatever your dreams are. Yeah, that's right. Someone has to. Like someone has to. So in a relationship, should you decide to date somebody, and this happened, it's funny. A friend of mine swore up and down when I met her, she swore up and down her boyfriend and her parents, everybody supported her. And then I told her what it was going to take and to start moving in that direction. Then everybody started chiming in. Tawana said absolutely as well. Then everybody started chiming in. Like her boyfriend was resenting taking her to go try out for America's Got Talent and all that kind of stuff. Her mom was like, "Why you got to do this? And where you spending your money?" Everybody was like bugging out. But mainly the boyfriend didn't support her at all. She broke up. She ended up breaking up with him, but he didn't support her at all. And the reason is most regular folk can't. They have no idea what it entails. There was a girl, dope singer named Jory that I used to work with. Um, used to come to the studio with her boyfriend and everything, you know what I'm saying? And then when her career started turning up, he just flipped out and just was non-supportive and all that. And she broke up with him, and they had been together for years. Like when I say you thought they was gonna get married. They would been, you know what I'm saying? It's difficult. Like it's one of the greatest challenges is to tell somebody else that it's about me, not you, right now. But that's life. When you have somebody chasing their dream, like I said, Jay-Z couldn't have got with Beyonce while she was trying to be Beyonce. He only benefited from talking to her once she was a success because at that point they had helped people to help manage their successes. He didn't have to work as hard. It was on autopilot. You know what I mean? But for the artist that's trying to develop something, hold on a second. No idea. An artist moving up. It's a lot going on behind the scenes. Yep. Priscilla said, "Do you think that's why artists or entertainers mostly date artists and entertainers?" Yes and no, right? The assumption is dating another peer is that they understand what you're going through. the challenge becomes, excuse me, what you realize is they're batshit crazy too because they've had to be selfish all their life and now they have to share this moment with you, another star, and it doesn't work. There are very few relationships. They have to be on a whole nother plateau of success. But I can name off so many failed entertainment relationships, and it's because if there are two people who are in the limelight, right? It's just difficult because it's a selfish nature business. And if one person's career overshadows the others, it's it's crazy. Uh I can't think of his name. Is Vance something and uh what's old girl who played Tina Turner? She dates another entertainer. But you didn't know they were together, and that's why it works. They're not up for public scrutiny, and most entertainers that have successful careers, you don't even know they got somebody. So when it's two people who are famous and out there, this is why the Kanye West and the Kim Kardashian thing would never work. It could never work. You know what I'm saying? They're both selfish. And his self-interest makes it impossible for her to be first in his life. And as an artist, you have to be selfish. It's a requirement. Angela Bassett. Yep, Courtney Vance and Angela Bassett. Thanks, Listen to Reason.
I don't think that's true.
Why not?
Because you can create from a place that's not selfish. You can create from love. You can create from, other things.
Name me somebody who's done it.
Plenty of people.
Name me somebody. Miss Plenty.
I mean, I'm just thinking in terms of maybe not the big star A-listers. You can create art that's more for yourself. And maybe it's not something that's going to be on the radio. Maybe it's not something that, you'll win a Grammy for.
That's totally different. That's
not really.
that
It's
is
all art.
no, but it's totally different, right? Because when we think about relationships of, I don't know, when you say power couples, or you think about relationships of people trying to excel in life, right? Nobody shoots for the middle. Like nobody says, I just want to be that good, or I just want to have this, or you know what I'm saying? They don't shoot at the middle. Somebody who's really active and trying to be, successful is like, yo, one day I'm gonna own this joint. And so in that, you have to have somebody who supports that, not somebody. It's totally the greatest challenge is two people. You both have to be chasing the same dream. That may make it a little more pliable. But should should outside entities prevail, they will separate you two and say, we need this. The Braxton sisters, Tony Braxton was in a group, and they handpicked Tony out of the group to be the star. You know what I'm saying? And the rest of them had to figure it out along the way, and eventually Tamar did because she was usually the baby and the oldest. It just kind of works. You know what I'm saying? It's something about the energy in that. So we managed to work at it for those 5 years, and then married. I did the guy for 5 years, and we both were very busy, and we both understood. Yeah, and we managed to work at it for those 5 years. Then I ended it. Yeah, it's challenging. To want to say Angela and Courtney are the exception of the rules. Well, they're the exception because they're not. You don't see them. There's no competing capacity for them. You know what I'm saying? And then we've not seen them share the screen. They've not fought for attention. They've always been very graceful when they've been together. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Tony did look better. True story. But I've looked at that. Like I'm like, yo, it's hard because you as an artist, it's a selfish natured business. You have to put yourself above others in terms of what your wants and needs are, because the minute that you don't get what you want and need, because people, it's not given that way. Tawana said right. Yeah, it's not given that way though. You know what I mean? Like it's just a difficult thing. You have to be selfish, and when you're selfless, then you're actually investing in the other person and what their desires and dreams are. And so you might want to say maybe you it's an adjustment. At that point, you say, well, I'm gonna support your dream for this moment. I mean, that's why I say if you're gonna be an artist, you have a team of people who support you to get to where you want to go. Once you get up there and you get the success that you want, the breakthrough, unencumbered, you've jumped all the hurdles without anything holding you down or holding you back. Go find your relationship. You got the money, you got the time, you got the access, you got everything you need for it to just be about a great relationship. But two people hustling, it's about the money first.
Sure. I mean, it's all about your priorities. If you put all your time into work, you don't have time to have a relationship. I can see that.
Yeah, but if you don't put your time into all your work, then how do you get the breakthrough you want? Stroke of luck.
Depends, really.
It got to be a stroke of luck, because
Not necessarily.
yes, it is. It takes for you to be great at anything. It takes 10,000 hours.
No,
10,000.
That's work for
No,
sure.
that's a success on anything. If you're trying to be a painter, if you're trying to be, a dope instrumentalist, if you're trying to be a producer, you got to put in 10. You got to. It takes that long to figure out what you've been doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes 10,000 hours to make the necessary amount of mistakes and have the amount of setbacks that it takes and have the failures and have the trajectory change and all that. And then by the time you're done with that, you have 95% of the answers to the problems that you've been having, and then the rest is up to you to put. And then it becomes the right opportunity comes along, and then you have your breakthrough, and you have to chase that. Being in a relationship, I couldn't have been in a relationship and moved to Atlanta because I would have wanted to stay in Michigan for the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like success requires you to go where the things are happening for the kind of success you want. If the kind of success you want is at college and that's the pathway, then you got to go to college to get it. But there are people who say, I never stepped foot in college and got the success that I wanted without doing it. And there's no one path to do it, but there is one certainty is that it has to be about you. The minute you start considering other factors, you get derailed. Dave Chappelle tells a joke. Dave Chappelle told that joke. I don't know if y'all remember this joke. He talks about the guy he went to school with. This guy was ridiculously intelligent. Got all the way to MIT. Was about to become a lawyer and ran into this girl. Did yeah. Tawana said you did that exactly. You know what I'm saying? I left. You know what I'm saying? But this guy, he goes to MIT, meets this girl, and Dave Chappelle, the joke, he was like, man, I said save that bitch for later, and he didn't. And then he said the next time he saw the dude, he was the manager at Foot Locker. But he was saying that in regards to Michael Cordone, who killed himself as the dude who did the dude who traveled around the world tasting foods and stuff like that. He was like, not once did this guy who threw it all down the drain think about killing himself. And here's this guy, you know what I'm saying? He was just making an example like some shit just don't make sense. He was like, I even encouraged him. I said, man, you ever thought about killing yourself? It was funny how he said it, but yeah, listen to Reese said she remember that joke.
I think people just lack balance. I mean, I think you should just be able to. You can have multiple things in your life. It doesn't all have to be about work. It doesn't all have to be about a relationship. If you jump into a relationship and it consumes you, like I'm talking like codependent as fuck,
Right.
and you're just like totally immersed in this person, you forget everything you're doing, you forget your mission, your purpose, all of it. That's just what that is. But I think if you have balance and you have boundaries and you have self-control and like, you know, the person understands like what you're working towards, they support you. Like I do believe all these things can just coexist. I don't believe that, you know, just because you're aspiring to do something and you're actively doing something, it doesn't have to stop you from other things in your life either.
I hear you. I will tell you that you will learn differently as you pursue that thing, that itch that you're trying to scratch. If it's truly an itch you're trying to scratch, you have to be focused. And you can't, you have to be focused. And the thing I tell my people on here is your success is on the other side of your consistency. Um, Caring about other people, like in relationship form, requires that you negate from your focus at points to adhere to the other person. And most people think that they can handle dating an artist until the demands of the artist outweigh the demands of the relationship. And there's always a point where that happens, especially when you're about to have your breakthrough. The minute things start winding, start actually shaping up for you, and you become in demand, don't become in demand. Oh yeah, we need you in LA for 2 weeks. Oh, you gotta go to LA for 2 weeks? I'm not gonna see you for 2 weeks. No, we can FaceTime. Okay. Oh man, I did so well out here in LA. They want me to stay another week, and then they want me to go to Paris for 2 weeks, and then I'm on tour. What happens to your relationship at that point? They can't travel around the world with you. They can't go on tour with you.
Why not?
They got a job, don't they? They got responsibilities back home, don't they? Or they not working. If they're not working, then you got it. You got your support staff. They ain't working. It's about your job and your success. So we're back to where we started as a person supporting you in your dream.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, you can't have. Listen, the greatest challenge is a person who's working a regular folk job trying to date somebody who's not. Being conventional is the toughest thing to maintain while dating someone who's not. Although it's supposed to be the perfect harmonious situation because you have your foundation and you can be the loosey goosey chasing your dream. The hope is that when you chase and fulfill your dream, that they can stop being conventional and they can join you on the ride. That's how it's supposed to shape up. Or they exist in your life in another capacity that supports what you're doing. Yeah, listen to Reason say I've been through combat. You better understand I've done it. We in the thing back to back, all sides covered. Some can't handle what comes with being with an entertainer. True story. So those are so especially being a young lady in the business. Oh my God. The secure, the self reassured and secureness your dude will have to have. They've never experienced it. They've never experienced it. Like no man is prepared for their girl being out in this atmosphere with the world of men goo and gaga over her, wanting to shower her with gifts, promising to treat you better than anybody who's in your life. Now, again, the foundation for your relationship should be very strong, right? But this is all calculated on you building that relationship at a time where there was no turbulence. Turbulence comes with being a recording artist, male or female, it doesn't matter. There's turbulence. And the first head that shows itself is the head of insecurity. You will not have done anything. You will not change. You, yourself, will not have changed one bit. Invite that person into the atmosphere of your working with people that you've developed a friendship with and a working relationship with. Oh, you come in, you hug and kiss on the cheek type shit and all that kind of shit start happening. That's how we just greet each other. It doesn't mean anything. You know, I love you. That was nothing. Well, it seemed like something. Why you got to kiss everybody? Why you got to hug everybody? Why you got to?
Well, that's just where boundaries come into play.
Right. Okay. So what is it? So wait, your boundaries. You can't sit next to certain people in the studio. What is it? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, sitting does not have to mean anything.
If you too close, it does to some people. If you are sitting next to each other and somebody's telling you this, yeah, I'm trying to tell you, I've seen this stuff happen, and I'll be like, yo.
No, I'm sure, but that's really insecurity. If I can't sit next to somebody without somebody freaking out,
that's bad.
Yeah, that's insecure.
But all it takes is one time for them to say to you, hey, you know that dude you were sitting next to? Oh, you ain't? Okay. And then you start thinking, why he asked me that shit? Like, what is that? I've seen the cancerous approach of insecurity. Plant its little seed, and then it starts to grow.
But hey, that's when you clock it and you communicate. You know, you don't let those things just fly under the radar, especially if you see it for what it is.
Exactly. But the fact that a person brought it up means they had the mental capacity to expand on it, whether you think you nipped it in the bud or not. like the challenge. So one of the things that has always been um one of my mantras is you can't control adults. Like you can't control adults and how they think or whatever. You can only defend your position and manage it from a place of honesty, and that should be enough. But everybody wasn't raised like you. Everybody doesn't have your moral compass,
Right.
and it comes out at the dumbest times. Like like and they'll swear they picked up on something. They felt something. They felt a vibe or something. I'm telling you, I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about? Like I've had to explain, like, yo, I've known these girls for years and they've never tried anything when I was single. So why would they try something now? Like why would they be interested in me now? Like they've never been interested. But I'm defending that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a you know, it's a very crazy dynamic um in this music industry and having to understand the many facets of what you're going to deal with. And for women that are artists that are entering into this business, I just tell them straight up, have you have you somebody who's not a boyfriend but somebody who's close enough to you to make sure that when you enter a room no other dudes try you. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't, cuz that it's in this music business now more than ever, dudes, it's real weird. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said, yo, bring somebody if you know what I'm saying, just bring somebody. I don't need the weirdness or whatever of somebody's mind is like, oh, he's this and that. Mm-mm. Just bring somebody, be cool, whatever. Um, but I know situations where, and I've heard it. I've had people come over to my studio and tell me about instances where it's been a trip on the first time going over. It's been, you know what I'm saying. Um, so I tell you, you got to be about your business. You have to be focused and plan to be consistent and try to move through, do what you got to do as fast as you can do it. Fail fast. You know what I mean? Like fail fast so you learn yourself. Make all the mistakes as quick as you can. It'll benefit you on the journey and getting through things a whole lot faster. A listener said, but what about women who are actually interested in you as a man? How do you set boundaries without alienating your fans? You don't. Like some things aren't even up for discussion. Some things aren't up for conversation. You don't you don't address things that don't make sense. You don't entertain things that don't matter. At least I don't. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's nothing to discuss. And with artists, yeah, especially if they are determined to pursue you, that's their determination for what their wants and desires are. I still always remember that I have my own wants and desires and things that I'm a stand on. You know what I'm saying? So with that, you just stay focused and do your thing. It's not my problem. Like I've been hit like it's that's been a situation. Listen to reason where, I mean, I'm talking about stars. You know what I'm saying, that have been pursuing, and you got to be like, yeah, I'm not interested. You know what I'm saying? Like, you laugh it off. All right, let's do this. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to lose the business. You know what I mean? Yeah, you don't want to lose the business, but you can't be a cornball either. And flirting is a thing. Like you do have to kind of, for men in the business with women, uh, stars, there's a bit of flirtatiousness that is there. It just is inherent. But that's with men and women when you work closely together anyway. It's really becoming a more of a taboo thing, I guess now. You hear more stories of, people saying years ago this person, whatever, whatever. And you be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad that I haven't been like on people like that. You know what I'm saying? For me, so I've always had a policy that if I was interested in, if a person that was, if there was somebody I was working with, a female that I was working with was interested in me, um, there would be a conversation up front. Look, I can't work with you if you trying to fuck with me. You know what I mean? Because I don't work like that. Like I think that's bad business. You know what I mean? I don't. Even though the synergy probably would be crazy and all that, I'd rather like you and never let you know and work and make great records than for us to actually try to like each other and still maintain creativity without these feelings that don't belong in here. You know what I'm saying? Like I that was one of it's kind of like my drinking policy. I'm not drinking in the studio because I don't want to do something great under the impression under the influence of alcohol or whatever, and then say every time I'm doing something dope I need alcohol,
Right.
and then after that the alcohol stopped working and I'm a drunk and now I need to do something else along with the alcohol. Let me do weed and alcohol. Oh, I did something dope now. Okay, now I just the harder I gotta go. Next thing you know, I'm shooting up in the studio. I'm like Ray Charles and shit. You know what I'm saying? Thinking that that's a part of my creativity. So, that's kind of like that. Like I'm not. I don't want to bring any of that energy in here. Um, Knowing that the goal was to be creative and do something dope, and um, and then it spiral out of control because there's the wrong emotions are in the room. You know. But good question. Good question. Listen to reason. My boyfriend lives in another state, and we've known each other for at least 6 years, just friends at first. But now we dating, first year dating, before we trust each other, but we flirt with each other, talk every day. Yeah, that's what's up. Tawana said, "Well, I keep it 100. Most women I recorded tried to give me sex for studio time. I'm married. I told them this business. I'm just giving an example. No, absolutely. I haven't run it. I mean, you work with a lot of, you work with more rappers than singers, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? You're a handsome guy, Tawana. So, that's bound to happen. But it's I've not been offered that. Like I've not been in a position where it's been, somebody be like, hey, here's some booty for some studios. I don't even know how to respond to that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even know where, you know what I'm saying? But that's crazy. Pay for professional services because prostitution is no bueno. True story. What is it? But now we dating, first year dating before we trust each other. Okay. Juicy, yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on. I'm gonna head out.
Hey, listen. Y'all say good night to Carissa, our my co-host for tonight. She didn't know she was gonna co-host. I just threw her in here. Next time she'll have a microphone. Since y'all enjoyed her so much, let me get you right here so they can see you right here. Let's see. There she go.
Hey,
Microphone blade
shout
drop.
me out.
Shout me out. What's your IG and all that? Give me
It's Carissa Robinson, no O at the end.
I don't know why either. I'm gonna have to figure out why there's no O at the end.
Because
But
it was taken.
for real,
Yeah. That's whatever.
dang.
I'm not
She
pressed about it.
they said she was great. Have her back. Good night. Good night.
Thanks.
Yeah, we will see, man. We're working on something. Her energy, y'all caught it too. Like her energy and vibe is off the chain. And that's that's the reason why she's here and having this conversation. But it wasn't even supposed to be this. Like she's just a whole, as you can see, she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and but her energy and vibe is dope. And so we'll see what happens. It depends on her schedule too, because she's a busy person. Listen to Reason said good night too.
Good night,
Did you say
guys.
you say your what's name again? I'm gonna type it in.
It's Carissa Robinson.
I'm gonna type it in for y'all so y'all have it. Let me see. Do overlay, text overlay. Really, just gonna swoon at the camera. 2 R's or
Thank you,
one.
Mary.
2 R's or one.
1 R.
2 S's and an A.
Yeah, and then Robinson. No O.
That's on what on?
Instagram.
And are you on TikTok?
No.
Man, we're gonna change that.
One day.
All right, so that's
Thank
her.
you, guys.
That's her at right there. Look, stand still now. There you go. See how I did over you where you was at.
Perfect.
Yeah. So everybody say good night. Listen, we've been on for an hour and a half as well. So I'm actually in the live and I'm gonna walk her out or whatever. And then I'm not getting back on tonight. I'll be back on tomorrow to continue or whatnot. But tonight was an amazing conversation. I hope y'all heard her well. In the future, she'll be mic'd up, and then you'll be able to hear. I could have put a remote microphone on you.
Next time.
Yeah, next time. So, but we hadn't planned this. Honestly, Carissa was coming by. We were having another discussion. This was so unplanned, but it worked out really great. I appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. This is not the last time. This is actually the first the Look Live that we've done, and I'm excited about more of these conversations going forward in the future. But I really would rather have them solely on YouTube, all of my TikTok people and everybody else. But we'll figure it out in the future too, man. Until the next time we talk, which will probably be tomorrow, y'all have a good night, and we'll chop it up later. All right, y'all.
Bye.